Hometown is a large town that is facing increased cuts in government funds. As the chief executive, I've been tasked to combat the situation. I, unlike the director of finance, believe that the greenhouse at Hometown is an important part of the community and must remain open. Because of this, I would like to avoid redundancies. To do this, I will need to review all options available at Hometown. The greenhouse generates a total cost of £262,750 a year. However, people at Hometown take great pride in the conditions of their parks, gardens, and the greenhouse, which is a core part of the town. Problem solving process that we went through was first a SWOT analysis. This highlights the strengths and weaknesses and then possible areas of improvement. From there, we used a mind map or a brainstorming session to think creatively and come up with as many options as possible. Finally, those were filtered through a decision matrix, which is weighted weighted towards needs of the Borough Council, giving us the most suitable options as well as what order to do them in. Through the decision matrix, I've come to the conclusion that selling the 31 acres of land would be the best option. This is because it is simple to execute with large returns. Selling the land would see 2.4 million to 8.6 million per acre, or a 74.4 million to 267.2 million for the full 31 acres. These estimates are from towns of similar populations and locations within the towns of Ipswich at 147,000 and Cambridge at 155,000 respectively. The plots offer potential, so it'd be sensible to use the plots on other projects and the unused land can be sold and fund other projects. This is allowing local farmers to feed their cattle by using the land rented. This will be simple for plots of land that are near farms, or farmers can come to the locations and cut the grass to take back to their farms. This will reduce or remove the need for maintenance, as farmers will pay to do it. As a result, the council can receive £75 to £200 per acre, so that is a total of £2,325 to £6,200 a year, rather than the £9,000 cost. The return could be increased if parks and roundabouts are included, as the exact size in parks and roundabouts have not been defined. The greenhouse is the biggest attraction at Hometown. However, it is used as a free service and operates at a loss. The greenhouse operates 3 days a week or 156 days a year, with a total cost of £262,750 a year. The greenhouse must make £5,052 a week, or £1,684 a day a day. This can be offset by the previously mentioned grazing, reducing the total cost to £1,586 a day. This would mean the greenhouse would need to average an attendance of 1% of the population of hometown at a price of £1. The attendance and ticket prices could have temporary spikes with annual or biannual flower shows, similar to the Chelsea Flower Show. The prices of tickets for flower shows range from £94.75 at Chelsea to £18.75 at the Malvern Spring Festival. A third option that will be proposed is to build billboard signs within the parks and roundabouts to allow advertising. With hometown having 17 parks and 17 roundabouts, resulting a potential return of £5,780 to £21,250 every 2 weeks, or £150,280 to £552,500 a year. But this is under the assumption that one advertising space per park or roundabout. This should comfortably cover the cost of the greenhouse with money to spare, which could be used to fund more projects or be used in other departments in the Borough Council. The 31 acres is located between two major parks and is near the town centre. Because of this, the next three options will be enhanced by this and also pair well together. The first is a cafe. It is focused on providing food and drinks from local sources. This will pair well with the greenhouse, which benefits from the foot traffic caused by the greenhouse. The second is a car parking complex. This paired with a close proximity to the town centre, the potential cafe, and the third option can see a large return. The third is a multi-purpose stadium. This could be used by local sports teams for sporting events, concerts, or entertainment events. This would work well with the car park. However, further investigation would be needed to gather demand and solid figures. The government has the most power, but may have little interest on how hometown runs, as long as it remains within the budget set by the government. The work union have some power, however the redundancy pay has already been agreed, so there is little they can change at this point, and little interest unless there needs to be industry-wide change. Investors will have moderate amount of power and interest, but not enough to force changes. The local press will be interested as they can use the changes as news and affect the view of the wider public. The community will have high interest but only have a lot of power in extreme circumstances. The staff, management and the councillors all have direct involvement and interest, but with varying degrees of power. Sam Shamara, who is one of the senior members of staff with many years of work experience, and more specifically at the greenhouse, where they serve 20 years, where they have 20 years of service. However, it is just as important that the leaders feel empowered, but at the same time they must embrace the change, which may not be the case for Sam, who has expressed their desire to retire in a year's time or volunteered for redundancy, which highlights they may no longer be committed to their role. Because there is a change, This infringes on the mental contract between the employer and the employees. This is why, during this process, it is important to gauge the feelings of employees about the possible changes. To gauge these feelings, Joe Newton will be needed as the employee's representative for the greenhouse complex. Joe will be aware of the thoughts and feelings of the fellow members of staff, so communication with them is important. Employees such as Jay Randall, being the youngest member of staff, will likely have less skills and habits to unlearn, allowing them to learn the possible new skills required by the change. In conclusion, I believe an entry fee should be implemented at the greenhouse. This can be done at little to no cost, and a positive communication message can be given. The advertisement should be allowed at parks and roundabouts, again at a low cost, easy to set up, but some work will be needed around contract agreements and advertising approval. The other three options need to be explored further. However, the cafe could be implemented quickly once analysis has been done on existing and potential customers. Equipment provisioned, as well as space, health and safety reviews completed, and staff trained or employed. Once the strategy has been agreed, any excess land could be sold, or potentially small but prime spots around as an acre could be sold to cover any funding gaps and fund any of the aforementioned schemes. As mentioned before, everyone involved, including staff and management, is consulted to enable them to feel involved and express any options, any opinions which can be taken into account. Any questions or feedback?